Hello, world. Welcome to another episode of Just Sayin with Willie Dexter Harris, Teresa Foster. Today is a real big show for a lot of reasons. It's the last show we're going to film before Election Day, as well as there's a lot of big sports going on this weekend. First of all, I really don't have to introduce. I want to present to you the most powerful family in the great state of Louisiana, and that's the Rich family. This is Miss Fox Rich, and this is Mr. Rob Rich.
Peace, y'all.
Hey, what's up, y'all?
I mean, they go so far back. When I say power, I'm talking about the kids got it going on and everything. But you know, I babble. So go ahead and tell me a little bit about yourself. You know what you got going on.
Well, today is our family is celebrating 44 rich days of freedom, and today is the 44th day that my husband has been home after serving 21 years and 4 days of incarceration in the great state of Louisiana, sentenced to a practical life sentence for taking $5,000 over 21 years ago. We received clemency from Governor Edwin Edwards. I'm gonna bring him back.
Don't bring it back, leave it where he at.
We received clemency from John Bell Edwards in June of this year, and Rob was released on September the 20th. And so I believe that we have come to be known as the first family of social justice and being able to, I think Martin Luther King said it best, that none of us are free until we're all free. So that's what we're working on. What you got, Rob?
There's nothing greater than a thought whose time has come. Boy, I've been thinking about being home for so long. So at day 44, for day 44 to be back home, not just home, but back in my hometown, my Shreveport. How y'all doing this morning, man?
And on show with Dex and Teresa Foster. We might get somewhere.
We might get it. All right. So yeah, it's beautiful, man, just to be here. And like the brother said, we want to make sure that everybody gets out there and rock your vote. November the 6th is right around the corner, so we make sure that everybody votes yes on 2.
Yes on 2, amendment number 2, which means that,
I'm going to say layman terms. Make it right.
Yes on amendment number 2, which means that non-unanimous juries will be required. That unanimous juries will be required in the state of Louisiana. As it stands right now, Louisiana is the only state where you can get a life sentence for a crime as severe as second-degree murder, and not everybody on the jury believes that you're guilty. So we want to change that because we know how slanted and how crooked our criminal justice system is here in Louisiana. We're just going to call it what it is, and racist. And then to go back further, Dex, it's not just something that we believe to be true, but that it used to be where we had unanimous juries in Louisiana until the turn of the century. At the end of the Civil War was about 1898. They called a constitutional convention because they wanted to make sure that they could incarcerate or recapture these people that had been freed, that were their free laborers. So they changed the law in a statewide constitutional convention. They changed the Constitution in Louisiana so that we would go from having to have a unanimous jury to only being required to have 10 out of 12 people decide that you're guilty. And it gets worse than that. They wrote it at the convening, they wrote in the ledger that this is being done to maintain white supremacy. And so this is not something that this is not a theory in this mug, right? We're not just guessing in this camp, but this is actually something that was written down in history, that the passing of this non-unanimous jury in the Constitution was specifically to make sure that white supremacy in Louisiana stayed about. And here we are over 100 years later. And the law that they passed then on Tuesday, November 6th, is our chance to correct history that has been gone wrong for over 100 years now. And I'm just so glad, Dex, that you are bringing it to your viewers, because I know that your viewers are the best viewers up in Shreveport and surrounding areas, and they are going to go and tell somebody else that they got to get up off of their ass and go vote on Tuesday.
That's right.
And yes on 2.
Most definitely. And you know, hate to swing. We're gonna swing back and forth because we're gonna deal with this voting situation. But I just wanna kind of swing back at this group right here, man. One's about to be a doctor, right?
A dentist. Yes.
I'm trying to show you why this family's so powerful.
6 sons.
6. And they all got something going. Didn't one of them do a TV show?
Robert has been on Queen Sugar, and he's also been in a movie on Showtime.
Yeah, you know, I mean, they got all kinds of stuff going on with this family. And then, if anybody kept up with Fox on social media, you seen how our dedication was, how our fight was to try to get this judicial system under control, and the love she had for this man right here from cardboard boxes. And
I know, right? You gotta love it.
but look at him now. Look at him. You know what I'm saying?
You better tell him. You better tell him, Teresa. You got you something.
Okay, this is what you call a ride or die.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. But what really throwing me is that they gave you that much time for that little amount of money.
Yes.
I know.
Yes.
And and it's really, and it hates to be said, it is racism. It is because of the color of your skin. Because if you had been white,
this never would have happened.
You would have got a misdemeanor slap on the hand.
Robert and I had a speaking engagement down in Covington at a big church. It's a big reentry symposium that we spoke at on yesterday. And one of the things that I told that group of citizens was that, one, we've never heard of any white person ever as a first-time offender in a crime that nobody received medical treatment in, get a life sentence for taking $5,000. But check this one out. You're not going to believe this one. There has never in the history of our state been a white person who has been sentenced to death for killing a black person. In the history of our state. Now, you mean to tell me with all the lynchings in the 60s, with the civil rights movements and the killings that happened there has never been one white person. If a white person is on death row in Louisiana, it's because they killed another white person. Right. There has never been a white person sentenced to death in Louisiana for killing someone black.
See, that's what I was talking about, because, like I said, this group has been involved in the judicial fight for many, many years. So, of course, you're going to acquire information about all sorts of things that's going on in the city. Because you have to take it all and bundle it together and use it to your advantage.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
To know what you're dealing with. And even to know what you're dealing with, Dexter. And I think that's one of the tragedies, is that we just don't look. I got a master's degree from Grambling State. Look, what, GSU in the house. So, and even having a master's degree, when Robert and I got ourselves into this trouble, I had no clue as to the legal jargon that they use when they take you through the court processes. I had nobody to turn to say, help guide us through this or give us some more information. So it was OJT, baby. You better learn, because your life is on the line. So it is either sink or swim. And so what we as citizens have got to understand, and especially as black people, Dexter, is that it is all our responsibility to find out what is going on in the criminal justice system. Because what happened to Robert and I, the unfortunate part is just that it's not a once in a lifetime thing. That this is common practice. Them throwing us away for nothing. The state of Louisiana and taxpayers has spent $500,000 locking my husband up for 21 years. We could have sent 5 babies on a full ride to the most expensive college in public school in Louisiana with what they've paid to incarcerate him and keep him away from our 6 children. But they say the devil is a lie.
Okay.
Because the devil is a lie. Because regardless of what they said about him having a life sentence, regardless of the racist judge that could sit there knowing that my husband had not taken a life, hadn't been in trouble before, and to take his life from us, it just shows you the power that we have, that in the midst of the most unsurmountable circumstances, because of the power in our DNA, just what we've been born from, what we've been bred out of, what we're going through with this criminal justice system and the oppression and the poverty that we're up against now, it ain't got nothing compared to what we done already been through. And so if we've overcome that, Dex, we got this. We got this.
Okay, see, all that in a nutshell comes back to that one important factor, and it's this whole deal going on November 6th.
That's right.
Because and it's not just this election. They sneak elections on you. They might throw some of them, like I said, those amendments. They'll throw some of them on a ballot and don't even have nobody running for office.
No.
And those are the ones that people miss.
And let me give you this amendment. There's another amendment on the ballot that you all need to be aware of, and that amendment is to make sure they want to change the law so that if you have been convicted of a felony, that you have to be out to prison for 5 years before you can run for public office. But let me ask you this question. If I serve my time, state of Louisiana said, Sybil Fox Richardson, you're going to serve 2 7-year sentences and 1 5-year sentence run together. I served my time. That's what you asked me for. That's what I gave you, my life's blood.
Yeah.
Then I come home, I'm getting my life together. I understand that things in our legal system are not right, and I want to go and volunteer my life to fix them and run for office and use that power to, those closest to the pain should be closest to the power.
Right.
That's right.
And if you are telling me I can't go out and vote, or that I can't run for office, but I paid my debt to society, then you deny me. It's just like people that go to prison, they come home and they can't vote. We just passed a law where if you are on parole, that you have that after you've been home for 5 years, then you can have your right to vote back. But they should have passed. Then you ain't got to pay taxes till you get the right to vote.
There you go.
Exactly.
Taxation without representation.
My taxes if I can't vote.
Why I got to pay you my money and I can't vote?
That's right.
So if I ain't being treated like a citizen, then what the hell I'm doing?
Oh yeah, like this, like I told you, when I knew that, that's why I waited her out, until we could get her on the show. I a powerful show.
Deep
So
like
hang
this.
tight, y'all.
Yes.
We'll be right back after this with Just Saying, Willie Dexter Harris, Teresa Foster, and the Rich family.
Hello, I'm Jaron Rogers, number 61 on your ballot, seeking the office of mayor for the city of Shreveport. I am asking for your vote. I am a graduate of the University of Texas at Austin, a licensed professional civil engineer with a master's in business administration from Centenary College. I want to be your mayor. I want to improve the quality of life for all citizens by creating jobs, working to reduce crime, and improving streets and drainage. Vote for me, Jaron Rogers, number 61 on your ballot, for the next mayor of Shreveport.
Greetings, Arcletettes. My name is Tracy.
And I'm Cassie.
And we are so excited here at Pepsi to be teaming up with the Northwest Louisiana Food Bank for our first annual food drive.
Please join us on November 12, 2018 for our event kickoff at 7100 West Park Road in Shreveport, Louisiana.
From 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. here at our Pepsi Beverages location. We are Pepsi.
All right, welcome back.
Second segment. Just saying.
Yeah, welcome back with Just Saying. Texas just threw me under the bus like But welcome back, and we're here with the Rich family. And what I would like to ask you, what has been your greatest challenge when you was put away for 20 years, and what has been your greatest challenge being home?
I would say to the first question, my greatest challenge of being incarcerated was probably, the simple answer would be being incarcerated, period, would be my greatest challenge. But to know that I had been incarcerated or had been sentenced to 60 years of incarceration at 85% as a result of the truth in sentencing laws that came through President Clinton's administration that required a person that was found guilty or convicted of a violent crime that you had to serve out 85% of that crime before being eligible for parole consideration at that point. So for me, my greatest challenge being locked up was the fact that I went in prison as basically a layman. And I say that based upon, even though I had prior college education, I had prior military experience, but I had no legal degree. I had no legal knowledge prior to. So it takes the average person that goes through undergrad and then that goes off to law school some 6 to 8 years in order to acquire the necessary knowledge, and then after which you have to serve a certain amount of time before you're even able to represent a client before a tribunal, before a court. Wow. So with that being said, you're talking about almost a decade of training that has to take place for a licensed lawyer to represent a client. And then here I am with someone, a layman, as I said, with no prior legal knowledge of any kind. And then so the law, I guess, would have to be the most challenging thing for me because it's like a foreign language. Right. You know, you don't.
And you either learn it or you die.
Yeah, it's a sink or swim type of situation.
In the state?
At Angola.
My whole time was spent in Angola. Every day, 21 years and 4 days of it.
So being home, how does it feel being home?
It feels great being home. I mean, like I said, it's been the one thing that I fought so hard for. I mean, every day that Fox and I talked, and God knows we talked every day. Just ask Securus, ask Viacom,
Ask my bank account.
you know,
Because those damn penitentiary phone
Yeah.
calls are $3.25 for 15 minutes.
minutes.
$3. The whole
when
world
the whole
is talking
world
free.
is talking for free all
In
over
order
the
for me
world.
to let this man talk to our 6 children or to talk to his wife and find out how our business is going or our life is going, it costs us $3.25 for 15 minutes.
But
That's
for
right.
you to say that, you know, I have a Facebook page and I have a lot of followers from Angola.
That's right.
How is that possible?
Well, now, ancient Chinese
okay.
secret.
And some of
You know, you
I went
just
to
hot
school
like
with,
that. You
so-
just
Okay.
hot
I
like
went to school with,
that.
so when I see it on my page, I'm like, well, if I hit like,
Right.
or if I comment,
That's right.
Ain't no come get
what's
you,
gonna
boo. You
happen?
gonna be
How
all
they
right. You
know?
gonna be
They
all
watch
right.
my page.
All right.
You know what? Because shout out to my boy Rara. He said,
Rah, rah. That's my classmate, Robert Grant.
It's impossible.
That's
But
right.
you know what? To me, people that are in prison for violent crimes, to me, you should treat them like they treat people for innocence things, like you said.
Or mental health.
Yeah, come on.
Exactly.
I mean, because
You gotta be
violence is just
killing me.
yeah.
Like
But it's
I'm
intentional.
really in awe that you spent that much time for $5,000.
That's right.
When you got people that credit card fraud $5,000 and get a slap on the wrist and walk out.
Okay, I'm doing Bernie Madoff time and didn't get
are
nowhere
y'all
near the
doing
kind of money
anything-
Bernie
are y'all
Madoff
trying
with.
to concoct any kind of lawsuit or anything towards that time or try to fight?
I think for us, T,
Yeah.
success is the best revenge.
Okay.
You know, and so the best way that I feel, Robert and I feel that we can get back, our family can get back at the system, is to be as successful as hell. You know, to raise 6 amazing boys, one that is in Amsterdam and in Spain just because he wants to be, has his college degree and is moving to New Orleans to
good.
launch his business. The second son, Remington, that's in dental school,
Remington.
got his master's in biomedical science. Now he's in his second year of dental school at Meharry. The third son, Lawrence, is in the National Guard and in his 4th year of college at Suno in New Orleans and is operating his own business. The 5th son is Freedom. He on a full ride over at Loyola. He is student senator at large at Loyola University,
what's
and everybody is waiting on him to be our first elected black governor. That's the best revenge. Justice is leaving for the Army in 2 weeks to go and serve his country. Graduated from high school, tested out of high school, and
At
started
age
college
16.
at 16 at Tulane. Both of them, Freedom and Justice,
So it
did.
can be done.
That's right.
It
has to be.
All this was going on.
It has to be. Why we fight the whole state of Louisiana?
That's right.
Yeah.
She's fighting to free her husband, and at the same time, they're both,
Raising
trying to
those
make
boys,
sure that
yeah.
these kids are in a good position, and they all did great.
Yes.
That's right.
You know,
Yes.
and it's one. I'm gonna tell you one thing about. I follow
really
you.
amazing.
I follow you religiously on social media, and it was a video. I was crying. I get emotional here.
He read it too.
And he read.
They so gullible and they always crying about it. I told you.
It was this video. It's like you baited him, trying to get him to say something bad about his daddy.
No, he was in there talking. He was at the dental office, Freedom. He's standing at the counter talking about his daddy because he was going to get his teeth tightened. He was at the orthodontic clinic, and so he was talking about his daddy when I happened to walk in.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was so funny because I'm saying, Freedom, I can't believe you, and they're talking about my husband. Don't be talking about my husband. And they knew that their daddy had been granted parole, but they didn't know when he was coming home. And I had been going back and forth. We just knew. I mean, even after he had gotten granted parole, I still had to fight them to get him on out of there. It was still a system.
Every day.
And so I didn't tell them. I just surprised them, and I went up and I picked him up and brought him to the dental clinic. To the dentist office. And he walks in on Freedom. Freedom literally fainted in his daddy's arms.
And then all of a sudden, he turns around.
Grabs his heart. It's got like 160,000 views on Facebook. It has been amazing, to see people be able to share in that. And I just think Dexter, that above all, love is the key to everything, and love is what got Rob and I through.
No, it conquers all.
It conquers all.
And I tell people that all the time. So many men and women go and marry on money, go and marry people got. But when that money is gone, that fame is gone,
What you got left?
Yeah.
But I'm gonna voice this myself. I say I smell a rich reality TV show.
You better speak
You better say
You
it.
got a good
You
knowledge.
better speak that prophecy.
And with the drive and easy.
Yes, that's what we working on. That is what we working
6
on.
boys,
see.
and all of them are doing well. None of them
All
are on
of
drugs,
them. None of them.
incarcerated,
Yeah.
been arrested.
Yeah.
So I smell a TV show.
Girl, this girl got good sense. You got.
Okay.
And she keeps them with them. And keep them with them. You know what I'm saying?
I love that. But
So we've got our New York Times documentary coming
November
out.
25th.
Yeah, our private screening is going to be in New Orleans by your Classic Weekend. So if you are in New Orleans by your Classic Weekend,
Yeah, we'll be
then,
there.
yeah.
So y'all got to come to the
Yeah,
private
y'all gotta
screening of
come
our
through.
documentary.
I have to come
And then the actual documentary is going to be released on Valentine's Day 2019. So we're really excited about that. And then from there, we are working on our reality TV show based upon our story too. So girl, you got your smell right.
Yes. Because that's
saying.
inspirational. You see a lot of negativity on Facebook. At the end of the day, we scroll by the things that's positive.
Yeah.
And that is a positive story. Here it is. Like I said, to me, he was robbed of 21 years.
Yeah, you're right.
I'm very boastful. I've been put off Facebook for calling Trump a nigga. And you know, at the end of the day, until we stick together as people, we're not going to ever accomplish anything. And that's my biggest fight. Even with my employment now. They call me mouthy. No, I'm just for right. I don't
okay.
tap dance.
Yeah.
I don't tap dance.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? My mama didn't raise me to tap dance. So if you're going to do it right. If you're not going to do it right, don't do it at all. And we as blacks have to stick together, and we don't. If, like, I'm praising them. When this airs, I'm pretty sure somebody's going to find something negative out of this.
Oh, they always do.
That's what we do.
No,
You know what I'm
Teresa,
saying?
look,
It's ridiculous.
on
Got
the
it.
video with Freedom and the 160,000 views that the video has got of him seeing his daddy for the first time free.
Didn't want to let him go.
Look, he says, so the quotes on there, you know, most people are like, oh, this is great, this is love, black love, yada, yada,
Yeah.
yada. And then you got
different
those
idea.
other people that say, 21 years and his son 19 years old, how that happened?
The math ain't adding
The
up.
math don't add up. I'm like, well, why the hell are you calculating? You focused on the wrong thing.
And
You
the
supposed to be
math do
getting
add up. That means you put that in for a house.
They-
It add up. You just, I mean,
I'm like, can I get you out of my uterus? Come on, man.
Yeah.
What's up with this?
Okay.
Can I get my uterus back over here? I mean, I like to keep some. I'm showing you the love, but I mean, you know, the intimate
Just the negative
thing. I just want to
aspect of
keep
it.
that up, but you know, it's just a matter of us showing and being a reflection of love everywhere we go, and that's what's important.
That humma people around that corner.
Llama, llama.
And another thing, like you all are advocates for this judicial, you know, equality. She should get involved with a situation for as this teachers. You know, our judicial system is horrible, but this teacher pay is 10 times worse. You know,
What's up with the charter
this lady had to
schools?
leave her system, her career, to go work at Libby Glass
Wow.
because she
They weren't
couldn't
paying
afford
enough.
to provide for her family as a Louisiana school teacher.
At a charter school.
Oh no,
Wow.
I was in the system.
Oh, really?
But I'm gonna tell you something. You know, Jalen Rose said it the best. In the next 5 to 6 years, it's not gonna be really public schools.
No.
Because
You can see that
public
trending
schools
now.
cannot even afford to send you really on a trip. My son is 5th grade. He's been on 3 field trips. 2 of them in pre-K, 1 in kindergarten.
Wow.
So you have to ask yourself, why have cattle split up the learning curve? You got Magnet, South Highland, Eden Garden, Walnut Hill, but Walnut Hill is not considered. You don't have to test. But why do my son have to test to get into a school? Why can't he just go to South Highland if he chooses to? So they have split, and then you have right over the bridge, you have Bossier. Everyone learns on the even playing scale, but over here, You have South Highlands, Eden Garden.
Well, it
like
was
I said,
a way
all
to
those
take some of the
kids.
best schools and make them predominantly white.
Yeah,
In
and
a
that's what they
city
do.
that has 60% African American, but yet you have some schools that are 70% white, then it tells you that those schools are being basically publicly set aside for the white community that lives in
And they
Shreveport.
shut Fat Park High School down.
But who in charge?
Us.
Black people.
We making those decisions.
Right.
And so until we make those that are making the decisions on our behalf accountable, we can't say a doggone thing.
I have those battles with my friends
That's
all the
very
time with
true.
their kids that's in the magnet schools. I tell my son make A's and B's. He's at Turner Elementary. I love Turner. I took him out of Turner and put him in Magnolia last year. Off the chart. No supervision. Those kids can do what they want and how they want. But what I don't like about it is you expect me to come in and do the job, but you're going to pay somebody else. You expect me to let a third grader come up and call me out of my name and swing on me, but I can't swing back. So let me explain something to you. Up on top of the desk and start hollering and jumping too. I'm having a mental breakdown. I feel like I want to choke something. But then when you do it, just like we got a clip in now, where a man in, I think it was in Houston, the student punched and called him an N-word. He beat him like he stole something. But he got arrested. He lost his job. So we just have to be accountable. And what I want to say too, I'm still saying this to y'all, when y'all want to walk out, I'll walk with you. Because there's no sense of you not being paid.
She's talking about you teachers.
To deal with the same thing. And only people getting paid are the superintendent, the people at Cattle, not the teachers who working, not the bus drivers, not the paras. And these are all people make up our school system.
But let me take you on back now. Let me take you on down to it. See, it all comes back to the same thing, Teresa. And the thing is, in Louisiana, we spend $3,300 per pupil. The state pays for each pupil in the classroom, whether they're in charter school or whether they're in public school. They pay $3,300 per pupil. But to lock up the children, we have the highest incarceration rate of children in the world. To lock up a child in Louisiana, it costs $36,000 a year. So you tell me. You see what the money is for your pay raise.
Got our priorities mixed up.
We don't have our priorities up. We are allowing them to take our money and move it in the direction that's going to go into their pocket. Because who getting paid off all the contracts from my children being torn up? Our families being torn apart. Can you imagine being a baby in prison?
And then now they have passed along. My son is 10. If he just pinch a little girl on the butt like they used to, you know how we used to play?
Yeah, I do.
And the mom has a problem with it, you know he can be charged with simple assault, simple sexual
10 years
assault
old.
at 10. And he could be arrested and he will go in the system as a sex offender at 10. So let me tell you something. When the young, what's the guy who ran down here, the white guy? I can't think of the name right now. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't stand
He ran?
it. He actually won for Louisiana. Guys on the, is it Vitter?
David Vitter?
Not David Vitter.
Kennedy?
Bill Cassidy.
Bill Cassidy.
Bill Cassidy,
Said he wants the prisons because we're going to have young black boys being locked up because they're not being taught right, they're not being trained right. But why are they not being trained right?
Because the mom and daddy, the mom and daddy in jail.
And you took whoopings out of the homes, prayer out of the schools, you took discipline out of the schools. So now, if I hit you, all I got to do is say, oh, my son 504. If he a 504, you can get away with it. So that's why I tell them I'm a 504 parent. Yeah, I mean, but it's sad. It's really sad. It's just like you said. It all goes back to injustice, and it starts at the bottom. But we're just in a racial state.
Oh yeah. Hey, it's getting juicy. But we're gonna talk about this. We got one more little segment we're gonna deal with, and I'm gonna talk about my LSU Tigers. I don't think y'all forgot about that. But we're gonna deal with that in a minute. We're just saying in just a second.
Dawn the commercial girl. The staff here at Burnham's Auto Repair always have their heads in the game.
We have over 30 years of experience in paint and bodywork, parts replacement, frame alignment, and auto detailing. We always make sure that we give great customer service. Need some work done today? Come and get your free estimate. We work with all insurance companies. We also offer customer pickup. We can tow you in and you'll drive out. Come see us at Burnham's Auto Repair at 1051 Grimmett Drive or give us a call at 318-222-2383.
Okay, and we're back once again. We have the most powerful family. I'm gonna say it for life. I say it on Facebook, Instagram, wherever. The most powerful family in the great state of Louisiana, and the most loving family in the great state.
I love it.
It don't get no better than that, man.
44, baby.
It don't get no better than that. But this weekend, Grambling celebrated their homecoming. Shout out to the Grambling Tigers, and as well as the big game with LSU and Alabama, and everybody's not giving LSU a fair shot. Because LSU has not. Alabama ain't even played a team in the top 20 this whole year. The entire year. The only team that LSU played that was not in the top 25 was Louisiana Tech.
Oh.
Wow.
So they've been fighting the whole. Hold on, right quick now.
Get this thing right.
Then it could be your title or my title. We're gonna title anyway, you know what I'm saying? But I just want y'all to know, we not playing, bandwagon. It's going down, Joe Burrow, but I just want to just say, to let y'all know, we're not concerned about Alabama, and ain't no tide gonna roll if your wheels are square. That's all I got to say.
All I'm saying is, I'm LSU down, but I'm realistic. I told him last time Florida would beat them because they weren't ready. Joe Burrows is not ready for Alabama. It is what it is.
Mr. Rich, it's 2 undefeated teams walking into the great state of Louisiana. None of them going home undefeated. You got Alabama going to Baton Rouge. Mm-hmm. You got the Rams coming to New Orleans. Neither one of them leaving undefeated.
It's okay to have that, but when we talk next week, I just want y'all to say, I'm gonna have that hat on.
Well, listen, I'm gonna bring it on around here. On November the 6th, there is a ballot that we should not leave undefeated. We should make doggone sure that we vote yes on amendment number 2 on this coming Tuesday, because it is important to make sure that we can do away with this racist jury system that we have created here in Louisiana for the past 100 years. Fox and Rob on all of the social media, please make sure you follow us. We're doing some great things out here, working to change lives, working to build families, and working to change these laws that are unjust in our state. And if you are in Bayou Classic in New Orleans for Bayou Classic, November 25th, we are doing a private screening of our New York Times documentary, and we hope you can come and join us.
If you don't have nothing to do for Thanksgiving, Rob is cooking for Thanksgiving. So if you're in New Orleans early for the Bayou Classic, give me and Fox a call on social media. I am cooking.
He is cooking. Bring your bottle and come on and eat with us.
Louisiana, we got them folks. We got a lot of folks going on in Louisiana. And we're going to try our best to fix these folks, especially with judicially, on the judicial system. But one thing about the Louisiana men, we can cook.
Yeah.
That's right.
We don't get out from work and then sit back and wait for her to get out of work. What you cooking? Food already done. Shake, sit down and eat.
Well, I got the wrong one.
Let my people vote. Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
November 6th. Go vote. Tiger weekend. And until next week,
Bama.
Until next week, we'll see you. Just saying, with Alexa Harris
and Teresa Foster.
Peace and love.
Peace.
Fox and Rob.